Hey guys, I want to go over a quick tournament recap of the first tournament of the year for me. I fished the 2018 Southern Opens, and the first one was at Lake Toho, Kissimmee Chain. Last week of January, had a full moon the first day of the tournament, and driving out there, which was a 4-day drive for me, I was thinking, man, big bedfish, frog, swim jig, punching. I mean, more than anything, I was thinking it was going to be a sight fishing derby like when Dean broke the record and all that. So I get down there, and of course a cold front settles in. Well, the first day, Sunday, I fished prior to the tournament, and it was typical Florida. You know, I mean, fish were moving up, the water temp was rising. They had some terrible cold weather down there, and it was in the mid to low 50s prior to me getting there, and it was rising. And I started seeing some little males cruising around. I'm thinking, here we go. And I just kind of fished around. I stayed in Lake Toho, had some bites on a swim jig, had some bites on topwater baits, had a few flipping bites, and more than anything, I was like looking where the males were. And then, of course, you know, I look at the forecast, and here comes this cold front. You know, got down into where I'm in pants and a snowsuit in Florida, and rain, and so they kind of backed them off. Throughout the next couple of days, I kind of formulated a game plan. I actually got a really, really good punching bite, and I thought, that's the deal. When it gets cold in Florida, those females back out into those gnarly mats, and that's how I'm going to catch them. In the tournament, I happened to come across a shell bed, and the reason I seen them, I'm driving down the lake, and I see these fish schooling, you know, like little stripers, but they're bass, they're largemouth bass, and they're pretty good ones. So day one on boat, I think I was like 204 out of 219 boats or something like that, and I'm thinking, that ain't good, because if I seen it, somebody else seen it. So I couldn't fish there. But day two, however, I ended up catching them right there, because I was boat 6 out on a TN 70. This is blueback chrome, and I would bomb that thing out there, let it hit, and just kind of pump the rod, just kind of, and they would eat it on the fall. And I ended up catching a nice, like 3 1/4, 3 1/2 pounder day two. But let me retract to day one. I only ended up catching 7 1/2 pounds, and all I was doing was punching, swim jigging. I was fishing for big ones, but they just kept getting smaller. I mean, like that big. But day two, I caught that nice 3 1/2, 3 3/4 to get the day started, and I ended up catching 13 something, and I moved up to 49th place out of 200 something boats. So I made a big jump, just barely missed a check. But let me go over some of the gear that I was using. So like I said, this TN 70, 16-pound reaction sunline, medium heavy Zodius glass rod. And again, I like that rod for bombing out, and when you hook one, you're not going to lose them. I added the Trocar hooks on there, which I'm very confident in. Trocar treble hooks, I mean, they don't bend out, you don't lose them. So that was one thing. And then when I was looking to flip, my main thing was this swim jig. This is the Eco Pro tungsten swim jig. I'm not sure of the color. I don't know. You can see it's got a little bit of shad, a little bit of green pumpkin, a little bit of yellow in it. I just went to the 3.8 Rhythm Wave green pumpkin. Kind of looked like a little bluegill, whatever they're biting down there. And this is 30-pound SX1 braid from Sunline. I like that just because I could bomb out there a long, long distance. And a lot of those fish, you know, as soon as it hit, make 1 or 2 winds, they get it. Metanium XG. And again, when those fish ate me on long casts, they were coming right at me a lot of the time. So I needed to be able to pick up line 894 NRX. A lot of power, a lot of sensitivity. You know, that was my setup for doing that. I caught a few key fish, you know, throughout the week. But my main focus was punching. And so what I had set up here, all 954s, I got 3 different rods. I got a 1 ounce Eco Pro tungsten, 1 1/4 and 1 1/2, all with Chronarch HGs, the new Chronarch HGs. Big power handles. I mean, that's my #1 punching setup right there. 954 GLX, Chronarch HG, and 60-pound FX2 Sunline. But let me revert to the tungsten. You know, there's a lot of tungsten out there. Eco Pro, when you're fishing repetitive cast after cast, or flip after flip after flip all day, if you don't have, if it's not, doesn't have the right insert in there, or this is doesn't even have an insert. But if it's not right in there, it's going to shape that line and scar it. And when you finally do bow up on one, it's going to snap right there. So I basically never had to retie at all throughout the tournament. And that's one thing I really like about the Eco Pro Tungsten is, you know, it holds its color like you can see here. Between day 1 and day 2, I probably punched, I don't know, probably 40 bass. A lot of them were little. But it doesn't get all scarred and ruin that paint. And the other main thing was a Trocar monster flip hook. All my setups have a 4/0. Doesn't flex. I mean, you could give them the wood, and that hook point is not going to flex out, and you're going to lose some fish. It's not going to happen. But let me talk about my baits real quick. So in practice, when I got onto those punch fish, I was throwing the Jackall Archelon. And, you know, just without a skirt, because a lot of times in Florida, I've noticed just from fishing down there, they don't like a big, bulky bait. So I just went standard just by itself, black and blue. And then my buddy Terry Scroggins, I seen him on the water the last day of practice, and he's like, man, dude, if it gets tough, you need to throw something a little bit smaller than that. He's like, they get really finicky. So he actually gave me this craw, and I'm not even sure the name of it. I'm just going to call it a Big Show craw, because that's Terry. And so I used that also. Again, the Trocar monster flip hook. And that right there is 1.25 ounces. Black and blue, silver, typical Florida stuff. But, I mean, that was all I did, is I just covered water. You know, after the sun came up, I put the TN70 down, put the swim jig in my hand, and just went fishing. You know, if it was matted hydrilla, I flipped it. Matted reeds, cattails, trash, hyacinth, whatever. I was putting a big weight in there, and I caught one close to 4 pounds and another one 3.25 or something like that, and I had a couple typical little Florida, you know, 14.5 inch fish. So, you know, looking back at it, I wish I would have found more stuff, because in practice I got kind of dialed into, I got kind of real focused on this deep hydrilla, and I was punching them out of that, and I had some really big bites. And that's what I kind of wanted to fish. But then throughout the tournament, as it progressed, I was looking for the matted stuff, like I said, the blowed-in stuff. And, you know, who's to say, though? Any swing in Florida, you can catch an 8 to 15 pounder. So I felt like I was doing the right thing. Hopefully next time, you know, we have the open in Florida, we don't get in a cold front, and we can catch them sight fishing and all kinds of other stuff. But the next open is at Lake Norman. Never have been there. Kind of excited about it. You know, new water is kind of cool to fish sometimes. So sitting in 49th in the points, you know, if we keep drawing over 200 boats, it's going to be a good thing. And I want to encourage everybody too. You know, those opens, it's legit. I mean, it's a deal. You know, real competitive, really good lakes. They put together a heck of a tournament, and it's a good way to, you know, hone your skills and fish against some of the best people out there. So I encourage you to, if the one's around your neighborhood, check it out, and make sure and check all this stuff out at Tackle Warehouse, and we'll see you after Lake Norman.